In the spotlight tonight is Dr. David Jones from Boston and Lincolnshire, a general practitioner. His specialist subject is the life and works of Vaughan Williams. Bill Smith from Kirby Moorside, North Yorkshire, a retired teacher. His is the life and career of Sir George Cayley. Janet French from Telford, an upholsterer, and her subject is the legends of King Arthur. And John Talon from Sutton Coldfield, a nurse whose subject is the television series MASH. Hello, I'm John Humphreys and welcome to Mastermind. You will know the rules by now. I'm sure the contenders have only 2 minutes to tell us how much they know about their specialist subject, and then another 2 minutes answering questions on general knowledge. By the end of this round, we shall know who qualifies to move through to the next round and then, perhaps, to the finals and the magnificent glass bowl that awaits them with the even more magnificent title of Mastermind. So, let's get on with the first round. May I have our first contender, please? And your name is?
David Jones.
Your occupation?
General practitioner.
And your chosen subject?
The life and works of Vaughan Williams.
Vaughan Williams in 2 minutes, starting now. At which Cambridge college did Vaughan Williams study from 1892 until 1895?
Trinity.
Correct. Which of Vaughan Williams' symphonies was dedicated to Arnold Bax?
4.
Correct. What was the published title of the Mary Flexner lectures given by Vaughan Williams at Bryn Mawr College, Pennsylvania in 1932?
On nationality and music.
Correct. Which of Vaughan Williams' works has a quotation from the Song of Solomon over each of its movements?
Sancta Civitas.
No floss campi. In the first performance and recording of Serenade to Music, who took one of the 4 soprano parts alongside Isabel Bailey, Stiles Allen and Elsie Sotheby?
Pass.
Which tune did Vaughan Williams compose to the words "Come down, O love divine" for the English hymnal?
Eventide.
Down Ampney. What character name did Vaughan Williams suppress in The Pilgrim's Progress because he wanted the idea to be universal and apply to anyone who aims at the spiritual life?
Christian.
Correct. Which novel by Thomas Hardy is believed to have played an important part in the sketching of the 9th Symphony?
Tess of the D'Urbervilles.
Correct. Vaughan Williams accepted the Shakespeare Prize from which university in 1938 after receiving assurances that the award was non-political?
Munich.
Hamburg. What is the principal musical form used in the last movement of the 5th Symphony?
Romanza.
Passacaglia. Which musical director was initially responsible for involving Vaughan Williams in composing for the cinema?
Muir Matheson.
It was. Who is generally credited with having introduced Vaughan Williams to the poetry of Walt Whitman?
Butterworth.
Bertrand Russell. In which chamber work of the 1950s did Vaughan Williams reuse a theme from an earlier piano quintet?
Fantasy Quintet.
No, Sonata in A minor for violin. Of whom did Vaughan Williams say that he meant nothing to me, but as he apparently meant a lot to a lot of other people, I dare say it's all my own fault?
Elgar.
Schoenberg. Which opera was Vaughan Williams working on at the time of his death?
Pilgrim's Progress.
Thomas the Rhymer. You had 1 pass in the first performance and recording of Serenade to Music. Who took one of the 4 soprano parts? Eva Turner. You scored, David Jones, 6 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Bill Smith.
Your occupation?
Retired teacher.
And your chosen subject?
The life and career of Sir George Cayley.
Sir George Cayley in 2 minutes, starting now. What is the name of the house in Scarborough where George Cayley was born in 1773, a place his parents had taken as a home for the winter?
Paradise.
Correct. Which educational institution did Cayley found in 1838 as a showcase for technological advance amongst other objectives?
Regent Street Poly.
Correct. Cayley was the first person to identify the 4 forces of flight. Drag and weight are 2. Which are the other 2?
Lift and... dunno.
Thrust. Later becoming his father-in-law, which nonconformist minister was Cayley's first tutor?
Mr. Walker, George Walker. Reverend
Correct.
George
What
Walker.
was the title of Cayley's influential three-part paper published in Nicholson's Journal in 1809 to 1810?
I couldn't tell you.
On aerial navigation, what name did Cayley give to the hand-pump propellers below the wings of his aircraft models designed to provide thrust?
Flappers.
Correct. Who painted the 1840 portrait of Cayley, which hangs in the National Portrait Gallery?
Was it Millet?
No, it was Briggs. In 1799, Cayley engraved a pioneering design of a fixed-wing aircraft on what object currently on display at the National Air and Space Museum in Washington?
Silver disc.
Correct. In his notebook under the date of the 22nd of November 1807, Cayley made a sketch of a proposed internal combustion engine powered by what?
Hot air.
Gunpowder. Who accorded Cayley the epithet the father of aerial navigation in 1846?
Henson.
Correct. What was the name of his reluctant coachman whom Cayley sent up in his pioneering glider across Brompton Dale in 1853?
Nobody knows.
John Appleby, it says here. To which title
Oh.
did George Cayley succeed upon the death of his father in 1792?
He was the 10th Baronet.
He was a baronet. Correct. What was the middle name of Cayley's daughter Sarah, of whom Catherine Worsley, Duchess of Kent, is a direct descendant?
Sarah Walker.
Philadelphia. In 1853, Cayley contributed... I've started the question, so I'll finish it. In 1853, Cayley contributed an important treatise on aviation in the bulletin of which new French institution?
L'aéronautique. At something.
No, I don't think you're going to get that one. It's the Société Aérostatique et Météorologique de France. Bill Smith, you had one pass. I've already given you the answer for that. You've scored 7 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Janet French,
Your occupation?
upholsterer,
And your chosen subject?
Arthurian legend.
Arthurian legends in 2 minutes, starting now. King Leodegrance of Cameliard gave the round table to Arthur as part of which payment?
There's a dowry with Guinevere.
Correct. With which fabled weapon did Sir Balin strike the dolorous stroke, stabbing King Pelham and destroying 3 countries as a result?
With the sword that he had from the lady.
The Lance of Longinus. To which Cornish duke was Arthur's mother Igraine married when Uther Pendragon first saw her?
Duke Gorlois of Tintagel.
When Sir Gareth first arrived at Camelot, he was put to work in the kitchens by Sir Kay, who then gave him what contemptuous nickname?
Blanchemain. White hands.
Pretty hands. According to Mallory, after the Battle of Camlan, Arthur made which of the knights return Excalibur to the water where it was grasped by a hand and drawn under?
Bedivere.
Correct. Which knight died of his wounds while assisting Sir Bedivere to carry the mortally wounded Arthur from the battlefield at Camlan?
Sir Lucan the butler.
Correct. What was the real name of the Green Knight whose challenge to any of Arthur's knights to trade blows with him was taken up by Sir Gawain?
Sir Burnlake.
Correct. According to Mallory, which Irish knight was accidentally poisoned at a feast given by Guinevere, causing the Queen to be accused of murder?
Pass.
Which pagan knight was converted to Christianity after Sir Tristan had disarmed him in single combat?
Sir Palamedes.
Correct. When Lancelot freed the people of Corbin by slaying a serpent, how was he described in an inscription on the tomb at the fight scene?
Pass.
When Guinevere lived with Lancelot at his castle, it became known as Joyous Guard. To what name did it revert after she left?
Pass.
Arthur's half-sister Morgause, the Queen of the Orkneys, was killed by her son Gatheris when he caught her in bed with which knight?
Sir Lamorak.
Correct. Which knight appeared to Arthur in a dream warning him of his impending death in battle with Mordred?
Sir Gawain.
Correct. And the questions, 3 of them on which you passed when Guinevere lived with Lancelot at his castle, stopped being Joyous Guard and became known as Dolorous Guard. Lancelot freed the people of Corbin by slaying a serpent described as a leopard. And according to Mallory, the Irish knight accidentally poisoned was Sir Patrese. You have scored, Janet French, a total of 8 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
John Talon.
Your occupation?
I'm a nurse.
And your chosen subject?
The television series MASH.
MASH. 2 minutes, starting now. What was the title of the last ever episode of the TV series MASH?
Goodbye, farewell and amen.
Correct. In the episode entitled Bombshells, both Charles and Hawkeye start a rumour that which Hollywood star is visiting the camp to prove the theory that people will believe anything?
Pass.
What food did Trapper and Hawkeye have flown into the camp by chopper to replace the liver and fish they'd eaten for 11 continuous days?
Spare ribs.
Correct. Between 1972 and 76, the first 4 series of MASH were produced by Gene Reynolds and which other person?
Larry Gelbart.
Correct. Which writing school was Radar O'Reilly accepted into, eventually telling his mother in a letter that he was giving up the course?
The Hemingway writers.
The Las Vegas Writers' School. Which future Oscar-winning film director made a guest appearance in MASH as Private Wendell Peterson?
Ron Howard.
Correct. The episode Springtime was co-written by which actress and screenwriter who also played Radar's love interest, Louise?
Pass.
What type of creatures were Fluffy and Bonzo, which were kept by Radar at the camp?
Guinea pigs.
No rabbits. Which actor later nominated for an Oscar played the part of Corporal Dorsey in the episode entitled The Tooth Shall Set You Free, the first transmitted in 1982?
Pass.
By what means did Private Danny Fitzsimmons try to get out of fighting in the Korean War in the episode Mulcahy's War?
Put on a lot of weight.
No, he shot himself. Which singer-songwriter who performed his own works in the show played the recurring character Captain Calvin Spaulding?
Loudon Wainwright III.
Correct. What was the name of the Tokyo-based colonel who had exiled Charles Winchester because he owed him money?
Pass.
During the run of MASH, how many Emmys did Loretta Swift win for her portrayal of Hot Lips Houlihan?
4.
2. Which British writer, later to form one half of a successful comedy writing duo, was one of the main scriptwriters for Series 2?
Lawrence Marks.
Correct. Played by John Orchard, what was the nationality of the anaesthetist Ugly John?
Australian.
He was. In the episode Movie Tonight, which film Colonel Potter's all-time favourite did Father Mulcahy bring for the unit to watch?
My Darling Clementine.
It was. What unusual gift did the unit give to Hawkeye after he had looked after them all after a severe outbreak of Asian flu?
Bedpan.
You're close. It was a commemorative roll of toilet paper. You passed on 4 questions. The name of the Tokyo-based colonel was Horace Baldwin. The actor later nominated for an Oscar was Lawrence Fishburne. The episode Springtime was co-written by Mary Kay Place. And in that Bombshells episode, the star they tried to pretend was going to visit was Marilyn Monroe. John Talon, you've scored 8 points. And that brings us to the end of our first round, the specialist subject. So let's have a look at the scores at this point. In 4th place, on 6, David Jones. In 3rd place, on 7, Bill Smith. In the lead, jointly, are Janet French and John Talon, both of whom have 8 points. So we move to round 2 now, the general knowledge round. And here, if there is a tie at the end of this round, then the number of passes will be taken into account. And the contender with the fewest passes will be declared the winner. So let's see how it goes on with the general knowledge round. And let me first invite David Jones to join us again, please. And I should say, Dr. David Jones, you're a GP.
That's right, yes.
You chose Vaughan Williams. He's not, I'm sure you agree, not the greatest composer there ever was, but held in enormous affection.
I think so, yes, yes. Well, I think he's very, I don't know, very sort of spiritual, really, although not Christian, but he's got very intense and moving music, really. And you can never tire of it.
Well, you scored 6 points with your knowledge of Vaughan Williams. Let's see how you do with your general knowledge round. 2 minutes, starting now. What title is held by the spiritual and political leader of the Tibetan people?
Dalai Lama.
Correct. To the nearest degree, what is the temperature of absolute 0 on the Celsius scale?
-276.
-273. The Goliath bird eating found in the coastal rainforests of South America and having a leg span of up to 280 millimetres is the largest species of which creature?
Lizard.
The spider. Which punishment consists of beating the soles of the feet with a stick or cane originating in the Far East?
Ballaste.
Bastinado. In which Alfred Hitchcock film is a tennis player's wife murdered by a man who expects the tennis player to murder his father in return?
Strangers on a Train.
Correct. Who in 1558 wrote the first blast of the trumpet against the monstrous regiment of women, an attack on the Catholic rulers of England and Scotland?
Pass.
What was the nationality by birth of the surrealist painter René Magritte?
Belgian.
He was. In the religion of ancient Rome, Vulcan, the god of metalworking, fire and volcanoes, came to be identified with which Greek god?
Pass.
Which music hall star sang the theme song for the television series Dad's Army?
Bud Flanagan.
Correct. Referring to the apparatus used by skin divers, what do the letters scuba stand?
Pass.
Which word of Arabic origin is used for a learned teacher of the laws and doctrines of Islam?
Imam.
The mullah. Which country, part of the Swedish Empire until 1809, when it was ceded to Russia, declared its independence from Russia in 1917?
Finland.
Correct. In which sport did Andy Fordham, a landlord in Dartford, become a world champion in January 2004?
Darts.
Correct. Which pop singer wrote the music and lyrics of the musical Taboo, which opened in London in January 2002?
Pass.
Telling the story of a young man who conceives the idea of studying at Christminster, which represents Oxford, what is the title of... I'll start the question again. Telling the story of a young man who conceives the idea of studying at Christminster, which represents Oxford, what is the title of Thomas Hardy's last novel?
Jude the Obscure.
It was indeed. You had 4 passes. The pop singer who wrote the music and lyrics of Taboo was Boy George. Scuba stands for self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. In the religion of ancient Rome, Vulcan came to be identified with Hephaestus. And in 1558, the first blast of the trumpet against the monstrous regiment of women, that was John Knox. David Jones, you now have a total of 13 points. And now Bill Smith, if he would join us, please. You scored 7 points, and I am ashamed to admit that I did not know of George Cayley. Tell me who he is and what he did that makes him so famous in your terms.
Well, he should be famous. He was a founder of the science of aeronautics. He made aircraft which were heavier than air, which carried people.
So he invented gliders then, putting it very simply, did he?
Yes, indeed.
How did he get the aeroplane in the air? Because there was no aeroplane to tow it, obviously.
Oh, no.
How did he do it?
No, he had a bunch of his tenants in Brompton who put, young lads who pulled it, sort of tug of war type of thing. And they ran down the hill and the thing took off. It went 200, 300 yards, something like that.
Well, we know a bit more about George Cayley now, thanks to you, and you scored 7 points with him in your round, so you now have your general knowledge round. 2 minutes starting now. Which film comedy trio originally consisted of New York-born brothers Moses and Jerome Horwitz and Louis Feinberg?
The Three Stooges.
Correct. At which racecourse is the English Derby run?
Epsom.
Correct. UPCs, or Universal Product Codes, and EANs, or European Article Numbers, are widely used forms of which method of product identification?
The contents, the additives.
No, barcodes. When prescribed for certain digestive complaints, for what do the letters K and M stand?
Don't know.
Which conference, named after the New Hampshire ski resort, where it was held in July 1944, led to the establishment of the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund?
Dumbarton Oaks?
No, Bretton Woods. Which London Underground line opened in March 1906, linking Waterloo and Baker Street stations?
Piccadilly.
The Bakerloo line. The Uzi submachine gun, named after its designer, Uzi El Gal, was originally manufactured in which country?
Italy.
Israel. What does the Greek prefix andro mean?
Andrew.
Andro.
Andrew. Oh, man. Mate.
Yes. From what natural material are the strings of the bows used by musicians normally made?
Now, nylon.
From what natural material?
Oh, catgut then.
Horsehair. Which explosive gets its name from its string-like appearance?
Sorry,
Which explosive gets its name from its string-like appearance?
Dynamite.
Cordite. Which northern artist's painting Going to the Match, showing crowds outside Bolton Wanderers' old ground Burnham Park, was brought by the PFA for £1.9 million in 1990?
Lowry.
Correct. The tree Quercus suber, a member of the oak family, is the main commercial source of what substance?
Cork.
Correct. Who wrote A History of the World in 10.5 chapters, published in 1989?
Don't know.
Molly and Polly are both pet forms of which girl's name?
I couldn't tell you.
Onions and which other... I've started the question, so I'll finish it. Onions and which other vegetable are the principal ingredients of the Scottish dish stovies?
Potatoes.
Potatoes it is. You passed on 3 questions. Molly and Polly are both pet forms of the name Mary. It was Julian Barnes who wrote A History of the World in 10.5 chapters, and K&M stand for kaolin and morphine, which I bet you had as a child. You had 7 points. You now have a total, Bill Smith, of 13 points. And now John Talon, if he would join us, please. And you are a theatre nurse. Is the fact that you're a nurse connected with your choice of subject, MASH? The
yeah,
hospital?
Yeah, it is really. I steal all Alan Alda's jokes, all the gags. And no, I just love the programme. It's tragic comedy with a little bit of vaudeville mixed in.
They thought it was going to be a flop, didn't they, at the beginning? And
Oh, yes. They went through all sorts of ructions and having to tone things down, and the breakthrough was the episode, Sometimes You Hear the Bullet, where they turned all the conventions of sitcom on its head and introduced a character, let you warm to him, then let him die in one episode. And apparently the ratings like soared and success was assured.
You scored 8 points with your knowledge of MASH. Let's see how you do with your general knowledge. 2 minutes starting now. How is Detroit rapper Marshall Bruce Mathers III better known?
Eminem.
Correct. Which artist immortalised the dancer Jane Avril in his posters for the Moulin Rouge?
Degas.
Toulouse-Lautrec. In the Bible, what was the name of Moses' sister who led the celebrations after the Israelites escaped from the Egyptians across the Red Sea?
Sarah.
Miriam. Which London borough has been the home of the Royal Observatory and the Royal Naval College?
Greenwich.
Correct. Which word for a phrase or opinion that's overused and betrays a lack of original thought comes from the past participle of the French verb meaning to stereotype?
Cliché.
Correct. Which musical note, sometimes known as a half note, is half as long as a semibreve?
Minim.
Correct. Between 1932 and 1990, the Russian city of Nizhny Novgorod bore the name of which Russian writer who was born there in 1868?
Gorky.
Correct. Which race of savage, one-eyed giants had a name meaning round-eyed in Greek?
Cyclops.
Correct. Which American surrealist, best remembered for his photography, was born Emanuel Rudnitsky in 1890?
Pass.
Which insects are bred in the ancient Chinese art of sericulture?
Silk knots.
Correct. Which song, popularised by Frank Sinatra, was written by Paul Anka to the music of a French tune called Comme d'habitude?
My Way.
Correct. In his poem The Islanders, which sportsman did Rudyard Kipling describe as flannelled fools?
Cricketers.
Correct. Which world-famous basketball club was formed in 1927 by the British-born Abraham Saperstein?
Harlem Globetrotters.
Correct. The Society of Artists, formed in London in the 1750s, incorporated by Royal Charter in 1765, was the main forerunner of which body?
Royal Academy.
Correct. Which is the only major group of crustaceans related to prawns and lobsters that live away from water?
Woodlice.
Correct. Which crime novelist created the Guinness toucans while she was working as a copywriter at the London advertising firm S.H. Benson?
Dorothy L. Sayers.
Correct. Which shallow glass dish with a... I've started the question, so I'll finish it. Which shallow glass dish with a fitting lid used for culturing bacteria is named after its German inventor?
Petri dish.
The Petri dish is correct. You had 1 pass. The American surrealist, who was born Rudnitsky, became known as Man Ray. 1 pass. You had 8 points. You now have 22 points. And now Janet French, finally, please. And you describe yourself as an upholsterer, but you're also a mature student.
Yes.
Doing astrophysics, or at least wanting to do a doctorate in astrophysics.
Yes.
And astrophysics is what exactly?
It's how stars work.
Oh, a small, modest subject then.
Well, but crucial. Yeah.
I'd say.
Yes.
Yes. And do you then stop being an upholsterer and become an astrophysicist if you can find the job?
That'd be good. Yes, I'm up for that.
Well, you scored 8 points with the Arthurian legends. Let's see how you do with your general knowledge round. 2 minutes, starting now. In politics, who has twice left Tony Blair's cabinet in controversial circumstances, once in 1998 and again in 2001?
Pass.
In 1587, on the last of his 3 attempts to find the Northwest Passage, which English navigator sailed into Baffin Bay through the straits that today bear his name?
Franklin.
John Davies. In the Old Testament, who was the youngest of the 12 sons of Jacob and Joseph's only full brother?
Benjamin.
Correct. The firm of John E. Dallas produces a range of which musical instruments named after George Formby?
Ukuleles.
Correct. In Shakespeare's play, what title was bestowed on Caius Marcius after his valour in war against the Volscians?
Pass.
Which French humanitarian organisation was awarded the 1999 Nobel Peace Prize?
Médecins Sans Frontières.
Correct. Which capital stands on the banks of the river Dimbovica, a northern tributary of the Danube?
Pass.
What was the title of J.R.R. Tolkien's first fantasy novel published in 1937?
The Hobbit.
Correct. Which root vegetable is sometimes called the oyster plant or vegetable oyster?
Pass.
Formed in 1972, the Sri Lankan guerrilla organisation fighting for an independent state in the northeast of the country is generally known by what name?
No. Pass.
A loggerhead is a species of which sea creature?
Turtle.
Correct. In which American city is the 185-metre-high Space Needle a feature of the centre built for the 1962 World Fair?
Seattle.
Correct. Nicely, nicely Johnson sang Sit Down, You're Rockin' the Boat in which musical?
Guys and Dolls.
Correct. Sweet and common dog are varieties of which purple wild flower?
Rose.
Violet. Which branch of mathematics deals specifically with the relations between sides and angles of triangles?
Trigonometry.
Correct. Which play by Beaumarchais was adopted for an opera by, among others, Paisiello in, I shall finish the question, in 1782 and by Rossini in 1816?
William Tell.
Barbara of Seville. You had 5 passes there altogether. It's the Tamil tigers in Sri Lanka. The root vegetable, sometimes called the oyster plant, is salsify. The capital, standing on the Dimbovica River, is Bucharest. Shakespeare's play was Coriolanus. And the man who left the cabinet twice in controversial circumstances was, and you'll know it the minute I say it, Peter Mandelson.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. You had 8 points. Janet French, you now have 16 points. So, at the end of that round, the end of our contest, let's have a look at the scores. In joint 3rd place with 13 points are David Jones and Bill Smith. In 2nd place with 16 points, Janet French. In 1st place with 22 points, John Talon. So that means that John Talon goes through to the next round and moves a step closer, maybe, to becoming our Mastermind champion. Congratulations to him. Please join us next time for more Masterminds. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Heading to the Jurassic Coast next here on BBC Two in search of Britain's heritage heroes.